Hi everyone, Grant K here for the Smoke Learning channel. In this short video series, we're going to perform the task of blurring out a face. It's quite common practice when protecting someone's identity. You could also use an isolated blurring to hide an unwanted logo that was filmed on camera. There are two techniques I would like to show you, and the first one will be covered in this video. If you would like to follow along, please click the link in the YouTube description to download the media. If you are watching the podcast version of this video, then type the link displayed in your internet browser. Here we have a shot of an individual walking across the screen. You have been asked to blur out his face. The first technique we will use is Action. Call up the Effects ribbon by clicking the Effects button or press Ctrl-Tab. Click Create Connect Effects. Now hide the media panel to give you more room by pressing one left arrow. Go to the Connect Effects node bin and press A for Action. Drag the Action node out of the node bin and drop it into the connection. So the media is plugged into Action as the background. However, we need a layer to mask and blur his head. With the Action node selected, press Ctrl-N to add a new media input. Connect the media into the red front input and blue matte input of the media node. Next, double-click on the Action node for its controls. Hover over the Connect Effects schematic and press Escape to switch to the Action schematic view. So if I move the layer around, you can see we are using the same media over the background. To isolate the man's head, we need to mask it out using the Gmask tools. Switch to the Media menu. With the media entry selected, double-click in the empty keyer column for the media entry. This brings us into the modular keyer. By default, the master keyer is set up to tackle any blue or green screen work. But in our cases, we only want to do some masking. So click the Start Mode pull-down menu and choose Reset to Gmask. Click Confirm to reset the modular keyer. So now you only have a Gmask node in the Alpha section of the modular keyer. Double-click the Gmask node for its controls. Hover over the schematic and press F1 for the front view of the Gmask. You use this view so you can see the outlines of your mask over your media. Now go to Frame 1. You can click Add under the object header and start drawing a mask. Or you can click Load and choose a Gmask preset in the file browser. For this example, I will select the circle. Now we'll track this mask before we position it over his head. Ensure the mask is selected by clicking on its outline. Since he is moving across the screen, this is a simple position track. Set the Adjust pull-down menu to Adjust Axis. This will shift the mask over the center of the axis after the track is complete. Click the Stabilizer button to enter into the tracking tools. Click the middle of the tracker boxes and place them over the man's ear. Press Analyze to start the track. This should be fairly straightforward. Once the track is complete, click Return to exit the stabilizer. Now scale the mask to slightly larger than his head. When you scrub the time bar, you can see how the mask follows him as he moves across the shot. Pressing F4 to see the result view, you will see the actual mask being generated by the modular keyer. This will be applied to the layer when we return to Action. Click the Return to go back to Action, and you will see the mask being applied to the thumbnail in the media list. The image surface in the Action schematic also shows the mask being applied to the media. So with his head isolated on a layer, we can now go ahead and blur it. In the Media menu, you will see the X blur and Y blur columns in the media list. Each media input has two sets of blurring values. There is one set to blur the fill, and the other set to blur the matte or alpha. To ensure you get interactive results as you adjust the blur, quickly switch to the Animation menu and enable Regen. Click the Animation button to return to the Media menu. Hold Option and drag one of the blur values to proportionately adjust the blur. This only blurs the contents within the mask. To blur the matte, hold Option again and drag the blur values for the matte part of the media. This will blur the mask coming from the modular keyer. Just one quick note. You could have softened the edges of the mask in the Gmask node using the offset slider. But this time round, I decided to blur the mask in action. So if you look at the final result, you can see that we have successfully blurred the man's face. As I mentioned in the beginning, you could also use this for logos or anything you want to obscure in the shot. In the next video, we will blur the face out again, but this time we will use different nodes in Connect Effects to give you creative flexibility over the look. For example, if you wanted to pixelate the face instead of blurring it, then this would be the way to do it. Comments, feedback, and suggestions are always welcome and appreciated. Thank you for watching, and please subscribe to the Smoke Learning channel for future videos.